Hello, crapsters. Welcome back. It's been a little while. I say that a lot, but I feel compelled to say it a lot because I really appreciate your guys' patience in between videos. I hope everyone is having a fantastic holiday season. As someone with a pain disorder, it's really easy to be a bit of a Grinch during the holiday season, which is what I figured I'd kind of address, is the hardships of CRPS during Christmas, Hanukkah, the big long holiday season, if you participate in any of that. But this can apply to any holiday. It's can apply to birthdays of any big events, really, honestly. So without further ado, here are the 5 biggest hardships, I would say, that CRPS and other pain disorders might have during the Christmas season. Number 1, travel is pretty much a no-go. I might get lucky. I might feel up for a very brief car ride on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. That's a prayer. That's a wish. That's usually not what happens. What usually happens is what happens every day, which is I don't feel like doing much of anything at all, let alone getting into the car and riding in a bumpy car ride, which, as I've addressed in previous videos, is incredibly painful, even for short bursts of time. So as much as I would love to go even 15, 20, 30 minutes away, it doesn't usually get to happen. It's unfortunate, and it controls pretty much whatever I do for Christmas, which makes sense. Not ideal, but again, not the biggest surprise, or really even something that's different from a lot of people. Everyone has their thing that is keeping them from going somewhere they'd like to go, possibly, or having them go somewhere else. You know, everyone has their thing or their time sometimes where they'd like to go somewhere they can't go, or whether they can't travel or they have to travel somewhere. Juggling the holidays is hard. So this isn't something I think that I'm the only one that goes through. This kind of ties into my number 2. That was kind of lucky. And that is that because of my disabilities, because I am unable to do most things, all holidays, big events, gatherings, pretty much revolve around me. What are we gonna do? Well, that depends on how Rosemary's feeling. Where are we gonna have it? Well, that depends on where Rosemary is. What time are we gonna have it? Well, that depends on what time Rosemary's feeling good. It's usually this time, but it might be different. Like, it's incredibly hard to plan things. It's incredibly hard to commit to anything without it being the day of. So you end up saying, here's the plans, the big plans, and we can cancel accordingly if we can't do it, as opposed to saying it's not going to happen and then having a good day and you're like, darn it, I wish I had called people to come over or whatever. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot. And that's not what people mean to put on me at all, but it's exactly what I would want to do with someone who couldn't come at this time, but they could come at another time. I would absolutely want to say, well then yeah, let's do it when you can come. So it's totally understandable that I'm lumped in with the grandparents and the older people because we want to see them. We want to be with them, and we get that it's hard sometimes to do those things and get certain places when you have bodily things to take care of, and that takes priority. But if you can see them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you do want to see them. So I get it. I don't begrudge them that at all, but it does feel kind of like, okay, like, I'm going to do my best to be as available as I can. So not everything is, well, Rosemary's only feeling good for a couple hours today, when normally I would probably say not even at all, if that makes any sense. It's a juggle that is very much appreciated. I'm so blessed to have the people that I have in my life, my family and my friends and loved ones, who are willing to do these acrobatics to see me or be with me for those nice times, because it means more than words can say and even actions can express. So I appreciate being able to be there for that little bit of time Doesn't matter how much pressure it is on me to do my best for Christmas or any other holiday. If that's all I can do to be with people, then it's still worth it. If it means for the rest of the year that I shut myself in and stay in bed and watch musicals to get through it just so I can be available for those times, then that's what I'm gonna do. Number 3. I've actually just noticed this the last couple of years during the Christmas season, even though it's definitely been a thing since I've been disabled or had CRPS. The Christmas decorating, even if you have someone to help you with it, sometimes and more often than not kind of seems to kind of get out from under you. Like, you don't even realize until, gosh, it's the 23rd of December. This is actually what day it is that I'm recording this, even though I'm sure it'll be what after. Like, oh, there's 2 days till Christmas. Yesterday I felt like there was a month until Christmas. That's genuinely how it feels. It feels like Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's no time, even though at the exact same time, it can be forever if you're in a lot of pain. It's so weird how that paradox works at the same time. So the way it looks behind me is pretty much how it looks all around the apartment, which is okay. If I get to it with people or without people, that's fine. I do feel kind of like, oh shoot, every 26th of December that it's happened the last few, where, oh, okay, I meant to get around to that, but if all I get around to is an artificial tree that is safe for my cat and ornaments that do the same, and that's it, that's, again, that's a battle won, like my dad says, like little victories. So if I have to pick, if I'd rather get all the decorating done when someone's around, or if someone comes over, I'd rather do something that feels more fun. Not that didn't used to be so fun for me before. It was more work than it was fun and caused more pain than anything. That's really the bigger thing, is not so much the work as the pain. I'd rather do the quote unquote more fun thing, which is usually, a sedentary thing, watching a movie, maybe baking cookies, where I sit there and watch them bake cookies and put them into the oven and then talk for 20 minutes. That's better than kind of feeling a little beat after, just exhausted and more sore. As much as you want to do it, it does cause more pain. So planning out your activities accordingly. Unfortunately, decorating has seemed to kind of fall by the wayside. And as much as that's kind of a bummer, that's really the extent of it. It sucks, but it's not the worst thing. All these complaints, for the most part, are little things that I can pick out that may kind of have their little moments of suckery during the holiday season. But there's something about Christmas and something about this time of year that just has always kind of had its optimism for me, and even with CRPS, it still kind of feels that way, whether I do all the things I'd like to do or used to do. Number 4, 99.99999% of my shopping is online. No more in-person shopping for me. And I know a lot of people who would think that is a huge upside for Christmas, not having to actually go out and buy things and do all that. But it's so weird for me. Growing up, I loved that hustle and bustle of Christmas. I loved watching the hustle and bustle. I liked going shopping or going to the mall and watching other people do their shopping when I had all my shopping done. I just loved it. Was decorated. It was we were playing cheerful music. It was just a really, really awesome environment that I liked a lot, whether I had to be there or not. So not being able to do that, even as malls tend to kind of be phased out a little more naturally anyway, now that more and more people are able to shop online and get things shipped to their place, most people, like I said, cut out what is normally a stressful thing to go somewhere and get these things and buy that for Jimmy and get that for Susie and just get whatever they need to get online, and then whatever else that is special that they for whatever reason can't find on the internet, which is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as long as the internet has been around, then they go out and buy those particular things for whatever weirdos picked up particular things. So I do miss going to the mall. I do miss listening to that music and watching kids meet Santa and all that commercialism of Christmas that a lot of people hate. So this could be a non-issue for a lot of people like me with disabilities and pain disorders. But again, this is just tiny little bumpers for me that I wish I could do during the holiday season. And the last one, number 5, is kind of all-encompassing, which is the energy it takes to do the tiniest things that take the smallest amount of time is always the worst or hardest really thing for me to kind of, deal with emotionally during special times. With everyone jumping through hoops and doing everything they can that I so appreciate to give me that opportunity to do what I can, it's still hard to do just that. So what I try to do the most of is when I'm doing something that I enjoy, no matter how I'm feeling, I try and just immerse myself in that moment. Hey, I like that movie. That makes me chuckle. Tiny little, doesn't need to be, the best thing. 3 out of 10 on a scale, but that's immerse yourself with a 3 because it's better than -7. These cookies are good. I love these cookies. They're not the best cookies in the world, but they're really good. That's all we can do. That's all anybody can do, with or without disabilities of any kind. So I'm grateful for the time I have and the energy I have, and I make sure to expel it doing things I love with people I love. It's so easy and so hard at the exact same time. How that's possible, I'm not quite sure, but it's the reality. So while Christmas and other holiday seasons can bring up a lot of sadness for people, myself included, because it reminds you of past happy times that you've had with people that you love that may or may not be around anymore. And it's important to acknowledge those parts of you as they come and be with those in whatever way feels right for you. And at the same time, really try and do your best to find the joy of the seasons with the people that you love that are still around. And that feels hard at times just to do that much, but looking back, I feel like I will absolutely appreciate that I am expelling all my energy to be with those I love now when I'm 80, 90, 100, even more. So I want to again wish everyone the absolute best this time of year, whether you're celebrating any holidays or not. Just wrap your arms around those ones you love, give them big hugs and kisses for me, and just tell them that you love them, and do something sweet for someone. Give someone an extra hug, give someone an extra kiss, whatever you want. Just one extra for me. And that'll be enough. I should already be grateful enough that you're watching this video, which I am. This is unbelievable. So thanks again so much for being here. Happy holidays, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.